2024 started 4 months ago, and you might not be where you thought you would be by that time because you failed to be consistent, because you failed to create lasting habits. Most of us fall into this endless cycle of creating new healthy habits and then falling off after a few days or a few weeks. And the more this cycle repeats itself, the less we trust that it is possible to create lasting habits. Okay, in this video, I want to talk about how to make your habits stick and how to be more consistent in the long run, because I've been through a period where I wasn't consistent at all and I lost all my progress because I literally gave up on all my new habits. And I think it lasted like 2 weeks, and I was so frustrated with myself because everything was going well and then suddenly I couldn't do anything anymore and I didn't have any willpower to do my routines. So I wanted to make this video because recently I have been finding something that has really been helping me stick to my routines and stick to my habits. So the first thing I'm gonna start right away. The first thing is that you need to make being consistent your number one goal, and you literally need to forget about all your other goals. For example, if your goal is to have your dream body, or to read 50 books this year, or to meditate every day, I think you need to forget about your goals and just focus on being consistent. And this, at least, it's really been helping me because when you always try new habits, like for example, you try a new habit and then you fail and then you try again and you fail, etc., you start losing trust in yourself. You don't trust yourself anymore. You don't trust that you can do it because you failed so many times. You've given up so many times. So you don't trust yourself and you're just so disappointed and you literally don't want to do it. And personally, for me, it got to a point where I didn't care about my end goals. I didn't care about how much I was gonna make with content creation. I didn't care about when I'd get my dream body. All I cared about was being consistent, because I was so miserable. Being inconsistent made me feel so miserable that it literally got to a point where I didn't care about my goals, my external physical goals. I just wanted to be consistent. I just wanted to literally show up every day and do what needs to be done, because I was literally so fed up with being inconsistent and not being able to rely on myself and to trust myself, and to always falling into this same loop of trying new habits again and then failing, and then trying again and failing again. So everything I just wanted to be consistent. And to me, consistency is goal independent. It doesn't depend on your goal, because if you are consistent, you can literally achieve anything, because consistency is your identity. If you make consistency your identity, if you have multiple goals, for example, working out 4 times a week, reading every day, meditating every day, if you view yourself as someone who is consistent and who just does what needs to be done, it won't depend on the goal. Because let's say you have these 3 goals: you want to work out more, you want to read more, and you want to meditate more. If you rely on your motivation, but if you rely on whether you want to do certain things or not, for example, if today you feel like working out but you don't feel like meditating, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna work out because I prioritize working out, but I don't really prioritize meditating at the moment, so I'm not gonna meditate today. But if you make consistency your identity and you view yourself as a consistent person, you won't pick and choose between your goals and your habits. Because you're consistent, you will do everything that needs to be done, because you value consistency over your external end goals. And that's why I said that something that really has been helping me is to just forget about my goals, and maybe just try that. Forget about your goals and just focus on wanting to be consistent. And me, it just got to a point where I was fed up and I was disgusted with myself because I wasn't consistent enough. And now I just want to be consistent every day. I really truly take it one day at a time. Every day I want to do what needs to be done. I don't even think about the end goals anymore. I just focus on being consistent and making consistency my identity, and until it get to a point where all my habits and everything I'm supposed to do every day and every week becomes easier. So it's really about switching your vision from imagining the results to striving to become a more consistent person and making consistency your identity. You simply need to show up to get into the habit of consistency, of being consistent. And being consistent doesn't mean being perfect. And I feel like a false idea is that if your goal is to work out 1 hour and meditate 13 minutes and read 1 hour, if you don't read for 1 hour, if you don't meditate for 30 minutes, if you don't work out for an hour, then you have failed. But truly, the only failure is inaction. If you don't act, if you don't do anything, this is failure. Failure is not cutting your workout short, cutting your meditation short, or cutting your reading session short, because at least you did something, right? You did something in the first place, and that's what truly matters in the end. And that's the second advice I want to give you, is to simply show up with what you have. If you really don't feel like working out and you can only work out for like 5 minutes, then just do it. If you can only meditate for 2 minutes, then just do it. If you can only read for 10 minutes, then just do it. Because I feel like when you're stuck in a loop where you can't be consistent and you go through weeks of giving your all and then weeks of not doing anything afterward, I think what you need to do is simply get into the habit of being consistent. And consistency means, at least when you're stuck in this loop of inaction, to me it means quantity over quality. And what I mean by that is the only thing that matters is literally do something and showing up. For example, if you say that you're gonna meditate every morning, don't try to meditate 30 minutes every morning when you truly don't feel like it. Just do it for 2 minutes, but don't skip a day, because the goal here is to get yourself used to being consistent. It's not about the quality of your meditation. Yes, you're not going to have the greatest meditation if you only meditate for 2 minutes, but what matters is that you are being consistent, and that will become easier over time. The more consistent you are, the easier it will become. Right now, you're not striving for results. You're not striving for quality. And the same goes for a 5 or 10 minute workout. I know like this is ridiculous. You're not just gonna work out for 5 or 10 minutes. At least that's what you tell yourself. But actually working out for 5 minutes is better than not doing anything. And remember that here, the goal is not quality. Yes, you're not gonna gain big muscles by only working out 5 minutes, but you will get into the habit of being consistent. So on the days where you don't feel like it, at least just do something. And this personally has really been helping me. It's not about the quality of what you're doing, it's about the quantity. At least because I've been in a cycle of inaction for so long, I've been trying new habits and then giving up and trying again and giving up. So the only thing I want right now, I don't want to be a Zen master. I don't want to be like have super big muscles. The only thing I want is to be consistent. I want to be able to trust myself and to rely on myself to do what needs to be done. So even though it seems ridiculous to meditate for 1 minute or work out for 10 minutes, what we're trying to do is build the consistency muscle. It's not really a muscle, but we're trying to build our consistency so that our habits and our routines become second nature to us. Something else I've learned and that I live by now is never skip a day and never skip a day twice. So basically, the goal is to never skip a day, but that is kind of unrealistic. I talked about consistency, but I still think that it's unrealistic to show up every day for every goal that you have. For example, if you're trying to incorporate 5 new habits, I think it's impossible and unrealistic to show up and do these 5 habits every day. So this rule is super important, and it is to never skip a day twice in a row. So you can skip a day, and that's something I've repeated, I've said in one of my videos. It doesn't matter if you skip a day, if you miss a day. This literally doesn't matter. What matters is how fast you get back on track. Literally, that's the only thing that matters. What matters is not that you fall. What matters is how long it takes you to get back up. And the sooner you get back up, the sooner you can keep moving. And that's really what matters. And the thing about never skipping twice is that the more days you skip in a row, the harder it'll be for you to get back on track, literally. And I'm sure you've experienced that. I've personally experienced that a lot of times in the past. You let one day go by, and then another day, and then 3 days go by, 4 days go by, and then you have zero motivation and zero willpower to get back on track. So that's what this is about. Never skip a day. This is actually perfect if you can never skip a day, but that's a bit unrealistic. But strive to never skip a day twice, because the longer you wait to get back on track, the harder it will be to actually get back on track. Because it's so easy to get into this mentality of, oh, I've just skipped a day, so it can wait one more day, you know, like you've already skipped 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, so whatever, it can wait for another day. And I think, and I'm sure you've experienced this, you've let so many days go by that it got to a point where just whatever, it can wait for another day. So you kind of have to be your own teacher. This metaphor is a bit weird, but actually it's an analogy, but it's a bit weird. But basically, take, for example, a straying kid, a kid that is straying from the path. And the teacher is here to remind that kid to follow the path. Whenever the kid is straying, the teacher puts the kid back on the right path. And you need to be your own teacher. When you skip a day, you're straying from the path, and you need to be your own teacher and to point yourself towards the right path. And if you fail to be your own teacher, you're just gonna keep straying further and further away from the path, and the further you stray away, the harder it'll be to find your path again. So you need to be your own teacher. Whenever you notice that you're straying from the path, you need to point yourself to the right direction as soon as possible. I hope you understood what I was trying to say, but you need to be your own teacher. You need to be your own guidance, and you need to see, like, okay, you can skip a day. This is normal. This happens even to the best people. But what matters is how long it takes you to get back on track. And if you don't track and monitor yourself, it'll be so easy to just stray away and not even notice it. So remember this, never skip a day, never skip a day twice in a row. Another thing that can help you, and that is linked to the first thing I said, is that you need to fall in love with the process. And to me, falling in love with the process is about forgetting about your end goals. You need to forget about your end goals and focus on what you're doing. You need to view yourself as somebody who enjoys the process, as somebody who enjoys being consistent, as someone who enjoys being productive and disciplined, and who truly, for example, working out, it's kind of painful. When you're working out, it's painful, right? But you can also see that pain as your muscles working. Literally, your muscles are working. If working out is painful, it means that you're doing something right. You need to see that through the process, you are going somewhere. Because I feel like when you focus too much on the end goals, it's actually super easy to get disconnected from the process and then lose motivation when you don't see results. And to me, the only way to stick to any habits is to make your habits your identity. You need to actually enjoy the process and just do it for the sheer joy of doing it. And you just literally need to see yourself as either someone who is disciplined. I am somebody who is disciplined. I am somebody who is consistent. I'm somebody who is productive. This is more general. Or I am somebody who prioritizes my mental health, my physical health, my well-being. I think it varies from person to person, but you need to find a way to make your habits your identity, or just like the process your identity. Me personally, I'm repeating myself, but at the moment I'm focusing on seeing myself as a consistent person. And this is what helps me move forward. You need to find ways to see and to find rewards in the process, because if you only focus on the end goal and the end of the tunnel, you are gonna lose motivation, you're gonna lose your willpower. This is guaranteed. Next thing is that you need to track your habits. And this is obvious, but I used to track my habits in terms of, did I do this today or didn't I do it? So I would either say, yes, I did it, or no, I didn't do it. But I feel like this is not enough. What you need to do is actually hyper track your habits, at least because for me, saying, yes, I did it, no, I didn't do it, it doesn't really motivate me. It doesn't feel like I'm actually moving somewhere. So what's really helping me is to actually track my habits with numbers. And the way I do this, for example, if my goal is to meditate 15 minutes every morning, what I'll do is actually log how long I meditated. If I've only meditated for 10 minutes, I'll log it. If I've meditated for 17 minutes, I'll log it. Because I feel like just logging, yes, I meditated, no, I didn't meditate, or yes, I meditated for 15 minutes, no, I didn't meditate for 15 minutes. I feel like this is an easy way to lose motivation and not see any progress. Or let's say you are trying to drink 2 liters of water every day. If you say, no, I haven't drank 2 liters today, no, I haven't drank 2 liters the day before, you're obviously not going to see any progress. So what can really help you is to track how many liters you actually drank that day, or how long you actually meditated, or how long you actually read. Because you're hyper tracking your habits, you are in it. You're always reminded of your habits, and you're reminded that, okay, I should meditate for maybe 3 more minutes tomorrow so that I can get to my goal. But if you just like meditate and you don't even know how long you meditate, you're gonna lose interest in meditating to begin with, because you know that you haven't hit your target, but you don't know how close or how far you are from your target. So tracking exactly with numbers your habits can really, really help, and personally have really been helping me. Another thing that has been helping me is compromising and rewarding myself. I don't usually do that, but whenever it gets really hard, when I wake up in the morning and I really, really don't feel like doing anything, rewarding myself and compromising is really helping me. For example, I wake up and I don't feel like doing anything. I tell myself, okay, you can go back to bed, but first, you need to do your morning routine. This is a non-negotiable. So you get up, you go to the bathroom, and then you come back, you make your bed, you journal, you meditate, or you do your yoga. And after all these are done, you can go back to bed and not do anything and just lay on bed the entire day. So on days where I really, really don't feel like it, I compromise. I tell myself, do these things, this like your morning routine, and then you can go back to bed. Or for example, when I'm editing a video, that's something I used to do in the past, but I don't really do it anymore. I would edit like for 30 minutes or an hour, and then let myself watch some YouTube video, and then go back to editing, and then watch another video. That's not something I really do anymore, but that's really been helping me, rewarding myself and compromising. After you do this, you get a treat, you get a reward. And I've noticed that after I do the thing that I didn't want to do in the first place, I am so proud of myself that I don't actually need the extra reward, because feeling proud of myself is the reward in itself, and it
motivates me to keep going, actually. So you won't necessarily need a reward in the end, but getting into the mindset of, okay, if I work for 30 minutes, I get a treat, I get a break, whatever, it motivates you. And sometimes you're so in the flow of what you're doing that you don't actually need a reward. And that's something that can help you in times where you really feel unmotivated and really don't feel like doing anything. And the last thing that I think can help you is stacking your habits. For example, if you're trying to incorporate new habits into your life, for example, let's say in your morning routine, you have your old habits, washing your face, brushing your teeth, making your bed, and you want to incorporate other habits, what can help you is actually stack your habits. Start with habits that you already master. For example, brushing your teeth and washing your face. You don't even have to fight with yourself to brush your teeth or wash your face. So you need to take advantage of this flow you're in. If when you wake up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, and you make your bed, then add one more habit to that. Maybe journal for 5 minutes, meditate for 5 minutes. This is like a domino effect. It will require less willpower from you because you will already be in a flow. You'll have your habits that you already master and that are already part of your life, and use them as a solid foundation. If you add 5 minutes of journaling or 5 minutes of meditation after you brush your teeth, make your bed, and wash your face, it will be easier. Whereas if you just like wake up and try to journal for 5 minutes, you'll probably won't have the willpower to do that. And I think that's why it's super important to have actual morning and night routines, because those are the best times to incorporate new habits and to stack your habits. It's better if you are already in a flow and you do one habit after the other, whereas if you just randomly did some habit, like you randomly did 10 minutes of yoga in the middle of the day, I think it's better if you incorporate your new habits into either your morning routine or your night routine. So that's about what I wanted to talk about in this video. All the little things that have been helping me being more consistent recently, and that I hope will help you as well. You can tell me in the comments if there are some things you're already doing, and if you can share more things that you're doing and that help you stay consistent and make your habits stick in the long run. I hope you found value in the video, and if you did, you can subscribe for more videos like this. I am rooting for you as always, and I hope to see you in the next video.